guys, welcome to 90's horror film lovers. I'm here with my co-host, Jonathan
Uh,
Moody.
yeah, what's up, Maddie?
Oh, not much. How are you doing?
Good. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Maddie Deering. I forgot to introduce myself. It was like, let me just jump straight to the
The
introducing my co-host, not myself. But yes, I'm Madeline Deering, the other
what?
host.
The other host, the host with the most.
Yes. And we're here to talk about the great movie Bad Moon,
The great
which
movie Bad Moon, which is kind of funny to say. Great, and the movie starts with
I was
bad.
trying to think of the year. I thought it was like 96. I didn't do my
It
research.
is 96, which
Okay,
I've
so I was
always
right.
wondered because 96 was the year the horror came back. So I don't know if this was before Scream or after Scream, you know.
I knew
Um
it was 96 from 97. I was right there.
I think it was before Scream, but still, this was a pretty damn good, like, horror film from the 90s.
For sure.
Yes.
So
How did you find out about this? Like, how did you know about this movie?
I must have rented it from the video store when I was younger. Or I can't remember the first time I watched it. Like I've had the VHS for years. And I know I got that from my video store. So I either rented it or saw on cable. It could have been Sci-Fi Channel, but so long ago I can't really remember. Um, but I've always been a fan of it, you know. It's been
Mm-hmm.
a werewolf movie I think is really well done and I always enjoyed, but we'll get into all that and
I think I saw it on cable somewhere. It might have been Sci-Fi
I feel
Channel or
like I
something,
first saw
but
it on cable and
um,
then VHS.
because I remember that scene at the end with the wolf in the house. Because I
Yes.
remember jumping through it coming through the glass, and I remember it coming up the stairs and going into the room and stuff like that. And so, I always remembered that image. So when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I think I've seen this before. So, but other than that, I don't remember any of the other stuff. I don't remember Dennis the Menace,
I
Mason
forgot Dennis the
Gamble.
Menace was in it. I
Yeah,
actually saw this at a screening at a local theater maybe probably close to 10 years ago, 8 years ago, and Eric Red was actually there doing a Q&A.
wow. Did he
I
say
met him.
anything cool that you remember?
Uh, it was so long ago. I can't remember exactly because like I remember asking him about this shitty like no, what asylum movie he did.
Oh yeah, the night of the
Yeah, and he
something
was like, because I
Night of the
asked him
Wild or
about
something.
that just because I was interested, and he was like, yeah, he hates that movie. I do remember that.
So Eric, if you hear this, please let us know. Do you really hate this movie, that movie, or whatnot? Um,
Yeah,
I did tag him and I think he's on Instagram, so I tagged a guy named Eric Red. So if I tagged the wrong Eric Red, oops, but it looked like him, so I
it
assumed
probably
it
is.
was. But I tagged him. I tagged Mariel Hemingway. I tagged Michael Pere. God, his name's so hard to say. And that rhymed. That rhymed. Oh, all right. And then I tagged Mason Gamble. So the three like leads. I can't sadly, pretty sure I can't tag the dog. So I don't think he
It'd be
has an
nice
Instagram
for
anymore. I don't think he's alive anymore. Sadly. Yeah.
you know, the real star here.
That would be like that would be that would be an old dog, if he were still alive today, because most dogs don't even live to be 10 to 15. So,
Yeah.
but he was great. That dog was the star of the show, yeah,
Oh
for
no,
sure.
definitely.
Thor,
Yep.
which I saw goofs on IMDb, and I don't remember this, but it says that even though it's a male dog, they say "come here, girl" a couple times.
Oh, I never noticed that.
I never noticed either, so I
It's
have to
weird.
now when I rewatch it, might be
Keep
like
looking
thinking about
for it.
that. I don't know. This was a great movie, you know. Like I had never seen it before. Um, like I said, I might have seen like clips
the
of
end
it
or
or
whatever.
whatever, the end or whatnot. But I mean, or maybe even it was clips online of that scene, or something from like werewolf compilations or something. But I don't remember seeing that movie all the way through, so I'm pretty sure I haven't. And so I was just like, this feels like the movies from the 90's. Like, um, it there was also in 90, if I'm correct, 95 or 96 was also the year of Wolf. So I guess there were like some
Think
werewolf
so.
movies coming out, and then when did American Werewolf in Paris come out? Was that 96?
I thought it was like later, like 90s 8 or something.
Maybe
A
that
little
might.
bit later, I think. I
And
remember seeing the previews for that on the TV Guide channel or whatever it was called.
97, so a year later. So I think like this and Wolf and some of the other ones brought back the werewolf genre, or whatever subgenre, because
Yeah.
um that happened. They were probably whatever company had American Werewolf in London probably was like, hey, let's make another one, because it seemed to be big again, you know.
Yeah, I always think werewolf movies are really fun.
Hmm.
Then there's always that classic Apex movie, Werewolf, with like the lenticular cover where the werewolf's driving a car in one scene. It's a pretty terrible movie, but
What is it called?
it's just called Werewolf.
Oh.
You'd remember the cover. It's like lenticular, like
Oh, wasn't it like parodied on or talked about on Mystery Science Theater?
yeah, they did
Yeah.
a series. I don't think I've actually seen that episode, but I have
I
the VA.
I didn't watch it, but I know let's say it's notoriously bad,
It
or
is.
whatever.
It's very, very bad,
Yeah.
but it's one of those to me.
Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier about Wolfen because we
Yeah,
saw I saw a on eBay you could get a pack of ones with Wolfen, Bad Moon, Body Snatchers, and Coma, which just sound like the two of them don't sound like they go with the wolf thing, but anyway, and then what is it? So we got yeah, so we have that thing, and Wolfen was really good. And
yeah,
but I was telling you, and I'll tell everybody else, if I had the choice between Wolfen or Bad Moon to watch, it's most likely going to be Bad Moon because Wolfen is too serious, and like it's great, but it's not as much fun, you know? Like
that's
what's fun about Bad Moon is it's got some bad moments, you know? It's cheesy at times, and that's the kind of stuff I like, you know?
me too.
So, anywho, what is it? Yeah, so Wolfen versus this, which I guess was made like a year, not year, decade earlier, in the 80's or whatever.
I thought so.
So yeah, but Wolf came out like Wolf. I want to say Wolf was 96. If it was 95, that would be funny because then a bunch of werewolf movies are like a year apart from each other.
I've seen Wolf in forever, but I always liked that one too.
It's like Jack Nicholson as a. Oh, it's 94. Wow. Okay. I'm completely wrong on that. Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer, two of the Batman villains
Yeah, that's
together
funny.
in a movie.
And a werewolf movie.
Wouldn't it be great if Michael Keaton just showed up and took care of the
He should
werewolf?
have. Why not?
Like his grappling hook. Something like that against Batman versus. They haven't made a Batman versus a werewolf thing yet, have they?
I have no idea, not that I know of,
James
but I don't
Gunn.
follow all that stuff.
James Gunn's needs to get on that because
Oh, definitely.
that would be up his style of what he likes to do. So be a rated
Yeah, you're
R.
not wrong there.
Yeah, with the fact that he did what Romeo and Juliet and shit, like that's where you got to start. You know.
Exactly.
Um. Anywho, to go back to Bad Moon, the movie we were talking about. Um. So I mean, so you picked this. What was the reason of picking it?
I was actually really just kind of wanting to watch a werewolf movie. And like I said, I had some other picks I thought of, but this was the one that was streaming. And I was just like, man, this is one I haven't seen in a while. I've always really loved this movie, so. And I don't know, I didn't know you hadn't seen it, so I think that's cool that it was first time watch for you.
What?
But
Yeah, I don't know if I've even
thinking
seen the other
90s,
ones either,
I'm
you
like,
know.
when was this movie made? And I was like, oh, this was 90s. This is a good
This
pick.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm
Um,
glad it did because it's a fun movie.
yeah, it's a fun movie. It's 90s. It's goofy. It's one of those films that I feel like if it didn't do, because I don't know if it did well in the box office or even if it got to the box office. And the reason saying that is because um Siskel and Ebert didn't even review this movie.
Really?
Yeah, so I was looking for Siskel and Ebert's review, and I couldn't even find a review by Roger Ebert at all, even through his archives of his on his online, you know. So I don't think he ever reviewed this movie at all, and I don't think neither of them reviewed it. And I don't know if it even played in the theaters, or if it didn't play in theaters worldwide, like
It might have got dumped on home video or something.
yeah, it might have went direct to video, which sucks because
Yeah,
it didn't deserve that. Like it deserved a full treatment and everything.
definitely.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was a good movie. I liked that we had Mariel Hemingway, who's not I don't think of as horror person, you know.
No, not really. I almost forgot she was in it too.
Yeah, and Michael Pare is kind of like he's a staple in all it's either Michael Pare or Lou Diamond Phillips, you know.
Yeah,
And the director's worked with both. He's worked with Michael Pare a few times and he's worked with Lou Diamond Phillips in a movie that looked cool and was co-written by Catherine Bigelow.
which movie was that?
Um, see, I saw it on the thing and I was like, what in the world is this? It was like a TV movie too. It wasn't even like it was like a made for TV movie. It is called Undertow.
I
Um,
never
and it
heard of it.
stars Lou Diamond Phillips, Mia Sara, and Charles Dance. And it says after his car breaks down, Jack seeks shelter, lost in a thunderstorm in a remote shack in the woods. He finds himself held at gunpoint by a deranged mountain man who lives there with his young wife. As the storm rages on, tensions mount in a small cabin. Matters reach a climax when Jack falls for the beautiful woman and tries persuading her to escape with him. Soon the situation escalates into deadly violence. I
That
mean,
sounds interesting, actually.
it does, but it sounds like stuff that I've seen like a billion times, you know. So I mean,
For sure. But
it's not 100% original, but what to me is the original part is putting all three of those people in there,
yeah,
and that is more fun, you know, like that's why I want, and it's co-written by Catherine Bigelow, from what she did Near Dark, right? Like, didn't she? Um, she did. Well, I know she did those like. She did Zero Dark 30 and Near Dark. Yeah, she did Near Dark. She did Strange Days, like fucking awesome, awesome writer. So to have her co-write, something that's pretty awesome. He did not have a
dark.
co-writer for this one.
No, this
This
was
was
just written by Eric Red, who
yeah,
also wrote The Hitcher, which is a favorite of mine.
yeah, The Hitcher, and he did a few things that he just wrote that he didn't direct. Um, Sad to see that his last directing was the one he doesn't like. Um, he,
Yeah, I wish he would. I always, you
oh,
know,
he'll do another one, I'm sure. I have a feeling.
yeah,
None of these people are done. Um, but it's a different game than it was in the 90s. So
most definitely.
let's talk about that real quick because I always like to bring that up in like a lot of these podcasts now. How different the 90s was compared to now. Like, when you go out and make an independent film and get it financed or get it put out by Morgan Creek, like Bad Moon, I think Bad Moon was somewhat independent, you know. Um,
Seems like
I don't know if Morgan Creek put up the money, which would make it a studio film, would it? Was Morgan
yeah,
Creek a
'cause I was
studio?
kind of surprised it was a studio film. Again, I didn't remember that. It's probably
Mm.
last time I saw it was in the theater for that screening, so it's been a while.
Well,
So there was like that about.
every time I hear Morgan Creek or I see James G. Robinson, I think of two movies pop in my head. One is True Romance, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time. And then I believe, if I'm correct, it always pops in my head, so I'm hoping it's right, is Ace Ventura, Pet Detective was put out by Morgan Creek.
Can't remember
Yeah, I think so.
that in a while.
What?
I haven't seen that one in a while, so
Yeah, well, Jim Carrey did a wonderful in the 90 in 94. He did Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask all in the same year.
Dumb and Dumber and The Mask are my favorites. I never really got as into Ace Ventura for some
Ace,
reason.
Ace Ventura is a certain you have to like that certain kind of humor,
Yeah,
like that
I
over the
need to
top.
rewatch it time because it's been a long time.
It's kind of like Mad T was it In Living Color skit that
Yeah,
just went on for too long for the whole for a whole movie. They stretched out for a whole movie, even though it wasn't. It was never like there was no Ace Ventura Pet Detective, but they very well could have made a
yeah,
Ace Ventura Pet Detective skit in there in that show, and I wouldn't have been surprised. Like, that kind of thing. But anyway, to go back to Bad Moon and whatnot, so like when the 90's, you could get deals a lot easier. People were, they were very trusting of like independent people coming in, like Jeffrey Reddick, who wasn't a huge name or whatever, got to have Final Destination and
yeah,
and stuff. And that was in I want to say that was originally in the 90's when he pitched it and did that stuff and then ended up getting made in 2000.
yeah.
But
I saw that in theater,
um
2000. I was
I
young.
don't think I did. I know I've seen a couple of them in the theater. I don't know if I've
I've
seen
seen
all of them.
every one of that theater.
Yeah, I think I've seen everyone after like the third one, with the third
Yeah,
one, and whatnot. Third one was my favorite. Well, one of my favorite. Second one's really my favorite. That's
second
got
one's
the
my.
that's got the best, crazy stuff there. But I do love the third one. We did the third one for horror film lovers because Shalon Simmons is in it, and I just have the biggest crush on her. Like,
Mhm.
absolutely adore her. If she were like, Jonathan, I just got divorced to my husband and I want to marry you, I'd be like, yes. I'd be like, I am 100% down, you know? So yeah, she's like her and Kaylee Cuoco are on my list. And you can see I like my blondes, but like
Yeah,
those two are on my list of like, these are the people that like I have the biggest crush on, you know, and everything. And I met Shalon. She's really sweet. Didn't
that's
tell her I
awesome.
had a crush on her because that'd be weird. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure she gets it all the time anyway, but like,
probably.
like she's probably like, oh, thank
A
you.
lot of it probably do.
She was sweet because she would actually like talk to me when I was talking to Lachlan Monroe. She would just like come into our conversation because they were like right next to each other at the table. So
Yeah,
like I was so happy. I was like, hey, getting to talk to two people for the price of one, whenever she wasn't busy with her fans,
yeah,
and stuff. And we're doing tomorrow, we're doing Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
that's a great one.
Yeah, Michael picked that one. I just can't. Well, I already did it once for horror film lovers, but so we're doing two. I did point that out. We're doing two Shalon Simmons movies back to back. But yeah, I love that movie to death. Like, I think that's great. We decided to do that one because Michael didn't get a chance to do it, and our friend Shannon, it's her like one of her favorite movies. So He decided to do it.
Nice.
This is this weird thing about doing 90s horror films, 80s horror films, and horror film lovers. All these are generally movies we love, you know?
Oh, for sure. Well, that's
Like,
why it's called 90s or whatever horror lovers.
well, no, it actually isn't called Lovers. That was what you added. It's just called 90s horror films. So it could be any.
I call it. Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah, you
don't know
called it horror
why.
lovers. I don't know. It's just that feels, I guess that feels good to say.
It
But
feels,
no, it's
yeah,
it's
it felt like
90s
the right.
horror films. Yeah. We could do bad movies on it too, but I think why I choose to do that is because I like to save the really bad movies for Indie Film Cafe. And
Yeah,
these are the movies that aren't probably going to be talked about on Indie Film Cafe, either because they're studio films like this one, or they are, you know, even though they're independent, they're really good, and it's just, it seems like a waste to sort of do for Indie Film Cafe, you
yeah,
know. Sometimes we like to put good movies in there, but most of the time, we like bad movies.
of
Um,
course.
Now let's talk about the story of this. Do you wanna go into it?
I can do it. Well, it starts off with this guy and his girlfriend, and they get attacked by a werewolf, and
Well,
then
before they're getting it on, man.
oh yeah,
I was
yeah,
loving that. I was like, whoa, see a little bit of tit. Not really. It's not
enough.
like, yeah, it's almost like more side boob than anything,
Yeah,
but I was I was not complaining, you know. So that happened.
yeah, and get attacked by a werewolf. There's some good gore throughout the movie, actually. Some good
Yeah.
kills and
And
whatnot.
the werewolf, you see it in the beginning, like from the very beginning. They don't hide. You know, a lot of them, they know the costume looks like shit, so they
Yeah,
just hide the costume, you know?
yeah, and they had a great costume here. I mean, I love the look of the werewolf.
Mm-hmm. The
So
werewolf looked awesome.
show it off. This
Did
is
you
nice because obviously 90s, so it's all practical.
did you see who played the werewolf?
It did not.
King Kersinger.
Really?
He was the stunt guy in the werewolf.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. I didn't realize it either until I was looking up at the credits and it said stunt coordinator slash werewolf. Was played by King Kersinger and I was like, oh neat. I was expecting Kane Hodder,
Yeah,
but
that's what you'd think.
right. I mean, but he I guess Ken worked instead of Kane, you know. I think those two had a thing against each other for a long time because
I
well, I think it was even before Freddy versus Jason and everything. I think they both were competing, like, because originally Ken was one of the stunt guys under Kane. And what happens a lot of times is stunt people will graduate to stunt coordinator, after a while, and they'll branch out and they'll do their own stuff. And what happens is then the stunt coordinator that they had before, like Kane, gets sort of shafted for movies. Oh, we can't hire Kane because we got I don't know, maybe Kane was busy too. He could have been shooting something at the same time. That's why they went with Ken, you know. But they went with they did, and I think if I'm correct, Ken is way taller than Kane too.
heard that's why they had him in Freddy versus Jason.
Because he was like much more towering, which I don't
Yeah, over.
really like. Because does that mean that like he grew while he was dead?
You're thinking too much of a continuity there.
That is a big continuity though, because you have like three movies that's Kane.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know how.
whoa.
What?
Then all of a sudden it's like, whoa.
Yeah, he grew. Where? How did that happen? Um, but I don't know. It's just weird. But nobody, I mean, nobody notices it. Nobody thinks about it, or whatever. Nobody cares. I'm just saying. I looked at that. Now I'm like, I'm actually now thinking that, like, wait a minute. Does that mean that I mean, he was a young boy when he died, so maybe he is still growing, you know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Is he
Something to
eating
think
his
about.
vegetables? I don't. We're saying this right on Thursday the 12th, everybody, by the way. It's
I was
right
just thinking
before.
that's more Friday the 13th.
It's about to be Friday the 13th. Jason's about to come out. I'm a huge that's my favorite slasher series, franchise is the Friday the 13th. Next would be Scream probably, but Friday the 13th is my
Nightmare
favorite.
is always my favorite.
I I couldn't ever really as a kid get into Freddy because he was obviously very grotesque and creepy and did really gory stuff. And when as a kid, I was
Pretty.
not into
Yeah.
that, you know. So as an adult, I got more into it, but it wasn't my favorite, you know.
Yeah.
Because I watched and I didn't like Halloween either because Halloween just that continuity was completely like everywhere and
Like
and
8 different storylines. So for
exactly. At
whatever.
least Jason has one storyline.
Yeah.
He died in the lake and he comes back to avenge his mother's death. Like that's it. He is the normal camp ghost story, you know,
Exactly.
and stuff. So like he is great, but um Michael is just kind of
I've never really been a fan of Halloween, so
I don't know. I like Danielle Harris as a kid. I thought she was great, and I'm glad she came back for Rob Zombie's one. Just because, she'd been out for so long. You know what I mean? Like it was
and the
nice.
Hatchet movies or the Hatchet sequels
Oh,
rather.
I do love those, but they haven't made enough for me to say like those are like my favorite yet. Michael McGlynn, that's his favorite,
Hmm.
is the
I enjoy
Hatchets.
it.
I do love them. In fact, I think they wanted Danielle originally for the first one, and then she couldn't make it. Like they couldn't
That
like
makes sense.
probably I think they couldn't afford her or something, and do that. But then the girl that was supposed to play, I guess, either dropped out or just didn't work out or whatever, or maybe maybe Danielle was like, "Hey, cast me," and they were like,
Yeah.
"See ya." I don't know what the deal was. And then that happens. So then she worked on the Hatchet 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Was she in the fourth one?
She has a cameo at the
Yeah, at
end.
the end. They did the
Yeah.
Chucky thing. Chucky had
Happen.
done that before where they show up at that shows up at Alex Vincent shows up at the end
Yep.
and all this shit and then I think that's where they took that idea from or whatever. But anywho, they need to make a sequel to Bad Moon, the movie we're
I would
talking
love
about here.
that, but I don't see that happening.
Well, I guess what did it make in the box office? That's the question, because that'll kind of decide what um did it even get a box office number. All right, so it's a seven. Oh, yeah, this is a bomb, man. For a
That's
$7 million budget, it only grossed 1 million.
that's so sad.
Ah,
I went and saw it in theater originally.
I don't, it could have been the transformation scene. People saw it and told others, don't bother. It's got a terrible transformation scene. And we were talking about it earlier. That was, I read that was what, that they did a director's cut. And in the director's cut, he mentions that they took out the transformation scene because
Yeah.
it was just so sort of made fun of and everything. Like people just did not thought it was terrible looking. And it was kind of because I guess
Yeah.
it was like early CGI kind of thing,
It's the
you
only
know?
really bad part of the movie to me.
Yeah, like all the rest of the movie is great. And then
Yeah.
you see this and I hated the part where he just was like, okay, bitch. Just became like Freddy Krueger all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I just don't buy it. Like I don't buy that a werewolf will talk like that, like before he's turning, you know, and everything. Like I don't know. I don't buy it. But there was some really cool stuff in this movie, by the way. I liked. I like the fact that They talk the werewolf lore. What do you think of the werewolf lore? Like the sort of new stuff they added to the lore,
Yeah.
like the full moon stuff or whatever, or not so full moon,
Yeah, I like when they add stuff like that and kind of make it their own.
like universe, right?
Yeah,
And but
definitely.
problem is they make it their own universe and then they have like a full moon for like 4 days straight.
I know.
And I'm just like, why is there a full moon like so much when we don't need a full moon? They can get, and I would have loved to see him turn when it was like a crescent moon because that was the whole point was that
Yeah,
the he doesn't need the full moon to turn, you know? He just needs a moon, he needs the nighttime and then he's
not
gonna
bad.
turn. That's cool. Like
Yeah.
you don't really see that, you
No,
know.
usually it's just a full moon.
Yeah, I mean they even talk about it like that Wolfman scene where Dennis the Menace, Mason Gamble uh is watching the t television watching the Wolfman. And the Wolfman um he starts laughing at the Wolfman and it's just because he was laughing at the fact that it was always a full moon, and silver bullets. And he was like,
Yeah,
yeah, well, a shotgun will work just as good, I'm pretty sure. Right? And I love that, you know. Um
yeah,
Now if a shotgun okay, now I I'm you've seen a lot of werewolf movies
yeah.
in
Of
your time.
course.
If somebody shoots somebody with a shotgun, like say chest um or head or whatever, right? Shot the wolf as the wolf, right? And they turned back human, wouldn't they die? Or are they protected by the wolf?
I thought they'd be protected by. Well, I don't know.
Be protected by like the werewolf. It's like the werewolf
Yeah,
chest like
because
bulletproof.
I don't know because I mean they say you need a again, like, yeah, a silver bullet to kill them. So I guess if you're just shooting them with a shotgun and you just have to wait it out for them to change back.
Yeah.
I don't
Uh,
know. Because I mean, in this movie, when he turns back human, he's obviously injured
right.
and everything, and the dog takes him out. But I guess when they're human, you can shoot them with anything.
God, that dog. That
I
dog.
love that.
So when I saw that there was a dog that was like gonna be part of the family and everything, I had to go to a site. There's a site called doesthedogdie.com.
Yeah,
And I had to check it out because I before I watched it because I wanted to be prepared because if that dog died, I wanted to be prepared for it and instead no, he does get injured a bunch, and stuff.
he's a
But
fighter.
he's a fighter, man. He's a
Like you said,
hero.
he's the main. He's the hero. He's the main character. And actually, I remember like ta Eric read. I do remember it like the Q&A talking about how he thought it was an interesting concept to have. Like Beast versus Beast or whatever. The dog fighting the werewolf and
The
stuff like that.
dog was
And it's
like
cool because
scrappy.
it's anything you've seen before. Like nothing you've really seen since. You always have dogs like sense ghosts or werewolf or whatever. But I mean, this time like it's really neat to see them fighting and stuff at the end.
Right. And before all that, you get like sort of a glimpse of him and how protective he is when Flopsy comes.
Yeah,
There's this, there's this guy in the movie who is what is this? What was the actor's name is like
I don't know the actor's name. Yeah,
Horthgar Matthews, something like that. He's been in like The Core, Reindeer Games, Excess Baggage,
uh,
tons of great movies. So but he plays this like, you see him, he's like that kind of shyster type person and he's
yeah.
he's trying to
Shape.
sell educational books. Was
something like
that
that.
yeah, to the for the kid. He's like, "Oh, you got a kid. Oh, well, I got some great educational books in my briefcase here. Let me open this up." And the dog
In the
starts
dramatic
ra-
way possible to bother the dog.
I know, I think he knew that opening up the thing would make the dog
Oh yeah,
upset.
I think he was just trying to get, whatever, sue them and get money or something.
Yeah, so he pops it open, or is about to pop it open. The dog attacks him. Probably had treats in there or something. Had something that
Yeah,
the
like
dog
he
could
knows what he's
smell.
doing.
Yeah. And so he gets attacked by the dog, and my dog is in my lap, and he's hearing me talk about a dog, and I think he's jealous. You know. So he what is it? He gets attacked by the dog, and then he uh says, I'm gonna sue you. You better have a good lawyer, and she's like, I am a lawyer, you
Yep,
know. And that should have been where he just said, never mind, right? And backed
exactly.
off but
Cut
of
his
course
losses.
yeah, like screw the lawsuit because I'm not gonna win. I have a lawyer coming up against me. I'm pretty sure she'll win. But she's like, let me see where he attacked you. And of course, he doesn't want to show it because he never got attacked. He was probably planning to go home and put some, you
Yep.
know, fake bruises on or make some bruises so it looked like he got attacked by the dog. And then, but that got to the police, which was bad because, when the dog attacked him and then later attacks Uncle Ted, um, that meant that he's going bye-bye now because he's attacked. Like, I've had a dog. My mom was so sad about this dog because she loved him to death. He was a Labradane. So he's a big dog, and he would bite. He bit me in the lip once. He bit my friend Sierra in the lip once. Um, which was crazy. That was twice, like two different. We both did the in separate occasions too, but we were both times we had been a little intoxicated, and we just kept sort of bothering him when he was already growling at us to like kind of back
Yeah.
off, and we wanted to, I guess give him a kiss or something, and he did not want to, and he bit bit the lip and stuff. So both times we had to go to the hospital, different times. And then he's attacked a neighbor and stuff but didn't actually hurt the neighbor or anything, but like could have, kind of thing. And we had to give him up and most likely got put down, which is the worst, and it made me worried about this dog when they took him away because all I could think about is he's probably being put to death, because you can't a lot of the times you can't if a dog is bitey like that, you know, you can't keep the dog because, you know, even if the dog is being protective, that was her brother, that right? Like
Yes.
who's to say the dog wouldn't attack like another stranger or something that, all this stuff. So they had a but of course Dennis the Menace could not. God, I keep calling him that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mason, if you're
I keep
listening to
calling him. I
this.
can't remember his name in the movie, and I looked it up.
Oh my God, he had
Starts
kind
with a
of a
B.
Brett,
Rat.
and there's Janet and Uncle
I just
Ted.
remember Janet and Uncle Ted.
Damn it, Janet. That's anytime I hear
That's all
Janet,
I remember.
that's what I think of.
Yeah, same.
I'm surprised Michael Pare wasn't in Rocky Horror. He would have been great as Brad, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
All right. So anyway, yeah. So. But he said he was attacked, and my favorite line in that whole thing was that uh the lawyer woman Janet said, uh, yeah, I don't think you're gonna do anything because did not mess with the lawyer on her own turf.
Exactly.
I love that. Oh, she was a feisty little one. Um,
She's awesome.
yeah, she's still around. She's still alive. I don't know if she's acting as much, but
Yeah.
I was happy to see that she hadn't passed away or anything. I mean, I didn't think she would have. I don't think she's that old. Um, she still looks absolutely gorgeous, like stunning woman, you know. So good for her. And she was great in this movie. Michael Pare was fantastic because it kind of gave me a you ever watch that Hitchcock movie Shadow of a Doubt?
Oh, I think I missed that one. I need to watch it.
It's a great movie. It's Joseph Cotton plays a killer, criminal killer who goes back to stay with his family, like his sister and her husband and their child, you know. So this kind of reminds me of that. Now that I'm like saying it more,
Yeah,
this
that
is
makes
like
sense.
a this is like a version of that, but with werewolves. Like a Hitchcock movie with werewolves. I'm surprised he never did a, you know, Hitchcock movie with werewolves. Hitchcock never did a movie with werewolves. But
No.
anywho, I absolutely so Shadow of a Doubt. So he's a killer or whatever, and then the little girl starts to put pieces together that that he's killed somebody, and that's what he's
Yeah.
doing is fleeing from that and everything. So um yeah, wow. When I think about it, I think that maybe Eric Red was a big fan of Hitchcock and that movie. I would love to interview him and ask him that sometime. So, Eric, if you are listening to this by some chance, please come be a part of this. You know, come let me ask you some questions. Would you want to be a co-host on that show, Maddie?
Yeah.
Ask him because well, I mean, you got to be at the Q&A with him. And was it for this movie?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, did you watch the director's cut?
It was so long ago, I can't remember
You
the
probably
transformation.
did. Yeah, I don't know if the transformation was the only scene in the director's cut. I want to see that director's cut now because they said they had commentary. So I'm wondering what DVD or Blu-ray can I get that at, you
Yeah.
know? My
Well,
dog's
Eric, if
barking
you're
now.
listening,
What?
I said, Eric, if you're listening, you let us know.
Yeah, definitely. My dog's barking. Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. Um,
Maybe it's a werewolf.
I hope not. I have a
I hope.
cat out there. My cat would do the same thing that dog does. My cat is more ferocious than this little teeny tiny dog is because my cat would jump on a werewolf's back and start attacking and everything. Um or he'd be smart and run away, but like if a werewolf is attacking, most likely most people would run away, right? Not many
I would.
people would stick up and try to fight it, you know.
I won't.
You wouldn't run away or you wouldn't fight it.
I'd be running away.
Yeah. I mean, we there's that in the movie there's a talk about in the movie there's that talk about the what is it? The werewolf, the beast or whatever that killed the hikers, you know?
Right.
And the sheriff is like, there's no way that could have been a man who did that, you know, like, or whatever. Because she asked him if it was a man because she assumed it was like he wrote in that journal, and stuff. And it sounded like he murdered those people, and whatnot. So, she's wondering, but I don't think she ever thought he could be a werewolf, you know,
Well, no, I wouldn't think so.
right? And then that transformation scene is like he's trying to handcuff himself to a tree or something.
Yeah. He did that
And
in other scenes too, but he's still.
yeah,
Which
and
I find his character, Uncle Ted's character, interesting because I don't know, you kind of see him just. He's probably an okay guy and everything at first, but you kind of see him just, delve deeper into that and just, it's kind of sad actually.
yep. Kind of sad.
because he can't control himself, and he tried to warn.
Well,
How are you gonna tell your friggin' sister you're a werewolf?
do you
I
think
don't
he
know.
got it did does deserve to die at the end?
Uh,
I'm
I don't know unless there was a cure.
yeah, most of the time there's no cure in these movies, are there? You know.
No,
Did you see that new werewolves movie that's out? That
no, I want to though.
you should definitely check it out. It's pretty good. I liked it.
It's pretty good.
I had a fun time. But I also like I had probably more fun time than a lot of people did there because uh it's like first of all knowing it's very low budget, like I think only a couple million kind of thing,
Yeah,
and that they were self-financed and they were self-distributing the movie. So it wasn't even like, help from, whatever, it was a purely independent affair.
yeah, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, and I have a feeling you're gonna see a lot more of that. The
I think,
only way the studio is gonna stop that is by putting out their own movies independently and
yeah,
taking up the space that the independent film, because that is the problem right now, is that the some of those theaters have like 24 screens. They need to fill those screens up with stuff. They can't just fill it up with what's out for Marvel or Disney right now. They have to fill it up with lots of stuff. And so this year we saw like The Substance, and we saw Strange Darlings, we saw the one you liked, didn't you like Cuckoo or something, or
Cuckoo Immaculate.
Immaculate was the one you really loved. And
Yeah, I
so
love that.
right. So there's all of these movies that are independently made this year, 2024, and they are out there, so they need things to fill it up and whatnot. Even my Regal needed more stuff to fill it up, and so Werewolves was on there. When I saw Werewolves was there, I got excited, and originally it was only going to be there for a week, and then I noticed it got another week.
That's awesome.
So
Look at
yeah.
Terrifier 3.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Terrifier 3 did like amazing. I don't think they expected to get $50 million on a $1 million budget. I don't think Werewolves did nearly as well, sadly. And I think it's because it was its own movie. It didn't have like a franchise behind it
Yeah,
and all this stuff. I mean, so it was, but yeah, it was awesome, to see all of these things out there, all these films out and getting made, independently. So
and
I
look at
think,
like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 or whatever. And I mean, I saw Slaughterhouse in the theater this year.
did
I think it
you?
was this year. Yeah, they would like have special screenings on Wednesdays or whatever day sometimes. So
Yeah,
even if it's just a 1 day showing, I mean, you're being shown in a nice theater. That's awesome
yeah.
that people get to experience it in a theater.
My
So yeah, I see more and more of that.
my friend went to see Wicked, which, that's the more mainstream thing, but she saw it at like Movie Tavern. And she was like, "Oh my God, they have these like reclining seats there and stuff like that."
Yeah,
And I'm like, "Dude, if they had like a pass for $20, you get you get unlimited movies like fucking Regal does, I would switch." But they don't do that. So they're
understandable.
losing out on my money. I'd rather go to Regal. I'm supposed to possibly see the man in the van or something like that tomorrow. I don't think that's what it's called. It's got Ali Larter and
Oh,
what's that dude's name? Sean Astin in it. Um,
hmm,
but it's supposed to play. My friend thought it was going to play at 1, and it's playing at 11:40, and I let him know, and he's like, I don't like. I'll get back to you on that. So I have a feeling he's going to say no. Like that's too
yeah.
early. That's too early for a movie. And I kind of agree. And I don't have time tomorrow night to watch it because I get that podcast tomorrow night, so I need to be able to watch, my Tucker and Dale versus Evil again.
I don't agree. I saw, I think it was Furiosa. It was like a 10:30 or 10:40 or something showing. I saw it. It was like that's like a 2.5 hour movie. Then I had the rest of the fucking day. It was nice. I like seeing early movies.
Well, I mean, you have to. I mean, where we're going, we'd have to go like 30. We'd have to be. It would take us 30 minutes to get there. So.
Fair
It,
enough.
so yeah, that's not even like 11:40. That's 11:10. That at least you have to leave maybe 11.
Yeah.
So we're just like, nah, nah. If it were like right up the street at 11:40, would have been more. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I'm down with watching it just because I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I'm always interested. And our regular Regal is not playing it. It's only playing at the one that's half hour away. So, what can you do?
Nothing.
Um, but like I said, I swear to God, I wish this was had been a in like had done really well in the theaters and had gotten Siskel and Ebert. I wanted to hear what they have to say because I don't know how they feel about werewolf movies. They might be sick of them. They might have been sick of them at the time because,
Yes. Like you said, there were so many coming out,
yeah, there's
and now you
always
don't see many, so it's cool. There's a new one, but
I
yeah, I
know.
wish hear many people talk about this movie. So I thought it was a good
Yeah.
movie to
And
like.
it's on
I didn't
Tubi.
realize it didn't get a Blu-ray release, or it just shoved on a multi-pack because it should be seen by more people.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing I didn't like was the transformation scene.
Yeah,
And that wasn't just because it looked bad, but also because like his whole persona changed and I just didn't like him just calling his sister a bitch and all these things when he has been nothing but nice. Actually, he sort of wasn't because when that
he was.
dog was taken away,
Yeah,
he was like bye, basically being a little dick.
that
And
was like the turnaround where you felt he was really starting to change. I mean, his personality and everything. So
yeah,
I like that.
you like
Because
you
whenever that scene when they're at the dinner table and he wants Dennis the Menace, see, I forgot his name again.
Brett.
Brett. I wanted to call him Barry. I'm so yeah. And it was a B. Anyway, he
It's a B.
wanted Brett to come to him, and that whole scene is pretty. I
Creepy.
like that scene a lot. Yeah, it's creepy. So I feel like you're kind of getting him that he's changing. You know.
Yeah, he's got the creepy scene with that, and then you can tell that the sister, there's these knows, like, because she read that journal and stuff like that. I thought she was
Yeah.
gonna get caught in his trailer,
Yeah.
and she didn't get caught. Um, but she um, I also liked that the dog Thor was running around. By the way, that's my niece's dog's name is Thor. So whenever I hear it, I'm laughing because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that Thor would never fight a werewolf at all. No, he's a little chicken, I'm sure. When that comes to that, but understandably so. I mean, if most dogs wouldn't,
Yeah.
and I think
Oh,
that's what makes the dog cool, with this.
yeah. He's got his family's back.
So when they go to visit Uncle Ted, we're at his place, which I don't why did he invite them over originally? Because he called them.
I think he just wanted some support, or he wanted to see them. I think because he obviously going through some shit, and
Yeah,
I
and
think he
he
just
can't even
wanted
tell them what he's
family.
going through.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he just wanted his family around. I think at that point, because he even like says to them on the phone or whatever, thank you so much for coming up. So at that point, it was, I think, very genuine.
I don't care how much people would have thought I was crazy. I would tell them what's going on. Like I'd be like, "Sis, we gotta talk," and then I'd be
Yeah,
like, "I'm Look, this is gonna sound crazy. I know, and you don't have to believe me at first." But if you need me to show you, I will. I'm turning into a werewolf, or whatever. And then she laughs or whatever. Then he lets her see the thing, that happening. and then they can figure out what to do, you know?
Yeah.
Um, because now this happens in a lot of movies, not just this movie. There is always this weird brother sister kind of creepiness that happens in these movies that doesn't feel genuine and real. It feels like almost dirty. Um, there's the scene where she takes the handcuffs and she starts talking, and he comes to grab her and stuff and take it away. And I was like, oh, what are you like? Just they're them together. It almost kind of seemed a little. I mean, they're in the
Odd.
mountains, but like, you know, seemed
It's not like
very
Amityville 2 type of but
seemed very
some of the
West Virginia hillbilly kind of shit.
yeah.
And I mean, he is a trailer trash guy, but I mean, ugh, it kind of gave me a creepy vibe at that point. And they're not the only movie that does this, but there's a lot of movies that have the brothers and sisters like touching each other and everything. And
It's a weird thing.
I don't. I'm sorry. I have two sisters. Do not like that. Would the he'll gross. Like I'm sorry. I don't. You know. I don't touch them in any, kind of thing. I don't do that. I don't, it just is gross to me. And when I see it on these things, I don't think, oh, those are two brother and sisters doing that. I think that's two actors doing it.
Yeah.
And it makes it weird because I'm like, they're supposed to be playing brother and sister, and they feel like they're playing um husband and wife or boyfriend girlfriend. There's like a scene in Entourage, right? Where Johnny Drama, I don't know if you ever watched that show or not,
No, I
but
never watched.
there's a scene where Kevin Dillon plays Johnny Drama, and he's supposed to do like a Hallmark type movie or something like Time movie, whatever it is, like, made for TV thing drama with Brooke Shields. And he starts saying, when I get over there, maybe I should give you a little kiss, or whatever, right? Because he wants to kiss fucking Brooke Shields. And she's like, um, you know we're brother and sister, right? He goes, oh, no, I didn't read the whole thing, so I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. Oh, wow. Yeah, then we'll forget the kiss, right? And she looks at her and goes, we'll have it on a rain check, right? She's just being nice, but he thought she was being flirty with the rain check or whatever,
Yeah.
thing. And then that gets weirder when he is having the scene with her and he all of a sudden has wood.
Oh
And
man.
and she mentions it to Timothy Busby, by the way, or what's his name? Tim Busfield. Timothy Busfield, who's actor, who turned director. And she looks at him and he goes, he's hard. And he's like, oh, honey. So I think he got fired for that.
Yeah, probably.
God, that's so funny though. But I mean, it's Brooke Shields. I
Yeah,
mean, you gotta see that. It's got those scenes got Mandy Moore in them too. Like, oh, I have a huge crush on her. Still like I had one when I was a kid, when I was younger, and now still do.
of
Um,
course. That
she's,
doesn't go away.
well, I mean, I don't
Usually.
know. Yeah,
Not all.
sometimes it can go away. I've had crushes on celebrities where I'm like, I don't really feel it anymore, you know.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, her, I don't think that would go away. Or Britney Spears, even though Britney Spears is a little wackadoodle right now. I feel bad for her because of all the stuff she went through. So I'm not, you know, but something's going on, and look, I'm all for her being emancipated and free and all that shit, but like she needs some drugs or something. Like not the, not like the illegal kind, but the legal kind. She
I know
needs
what
to
you
get
mean.
on some medication. Love her though. Um, would still work with her in a second in a heartbeat. I don't care how crazy she is. She wanted to act in. I don't think she does. I don't think she wants anything to do with the entertainment industry anymore.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't blame her after what she's been through.
But now the entertainment business didn't do that to her. Her freaking crazy
Yeah, I
parents
didn't know the
did.
whole story even, so
Yeah. Um.
yeah.
Hopefully, you know, she comes back because she was a great actor. I would love to see her in more stuff. But I'd love to see Mason Gamble in more stuff. You know, freaking. I mean, he did this. He did, or before he had done 3 years before this, he had done Dennis the Menace, that got him, that blew him up, and then he
Yep.
did let's see, he had done Spy Hard. Remember that movie with
Oh,
Leslie
fuck.
Nielsen?
I haven't seen that one in a while.
He was in that. So he was in that. Okay, so 93 he did Dance the Menace. 96 he did Spy Hard. 96 he also did Bad Moon. 96 he also was in that TV show Early Edition. Do you remember that show? It was
Vaguely.
like where they would get this dude would get a paper that would tell him the future
Yeah, yeah.
every morning, and he
Uh,
would be able to stop somebody from killing themselves or whatever.
or whatever crimes or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever crime, yeah. He was also in a short film called Just in Time. He was on ER for an episode in 97. God, it feels like everybody who was in the 90s was on ER at some point.
That's probably true.
What would that be the equivalent of today? Like,
Oh,
I don't feel like we have an equivalent of that anymore. We don't have a show that's like so insanely popular, like everybody would. Maybe Grey's Anatomy.
maybe. I don't
Isn't
know. I
that
never
isn't
really.
that still happening? Isn't that still going on?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's still on, so maybe.
Yeah, that'd be the closest thing we have, and that's another doctor show. So interesting.
Yeah, of course. Well, Doctor, people love Doctor shows.
He was in Gattaca as young Vincent. So he was young Ethan Hawke. I can see that. Um, and that was a year after. And then a year after that, he was in Rushmore. Do you remember him in Rushmore?
I do not remember him in Rushmore, but I've only seen it once, and it was years ago.
It was he was, I think, Jason Schwartzman's friend in it or whatever. Jason Schwartzman is the complete jerk. I need to buy that on Criterion. I was going to buy that this
Great movie.
year, but I ended up getting other things instead, and now I'm kind of regretting it. So next time,
Yeah, I was
next
gonna say there's still time to get it. I mean,
no, I mean
so
because they're doing they do the 50% off sale from Barnes and Nobles every and I'm actually gonna be buying a bunch of ones online too. But they do the 50% sale every July and November. So
yeah.
I'll I'll get it next year. It'll be fine. I'm not in a rush more, you know, rush anymore. I don't know. All right. He was in Arlington Road. Um all right, I'm seeing if anything else. I don't know. He's in an episode of CSI Miami back in 2006. And that's it. Like the other stuff is like I never really heard close to home television show. Kate Brasher television show. What is that? Did you ever
I
see
don't
that?
know. Never
No.
heard of it.
It's got Rhea Perlman in it though. I
Oh,
love her. Mary Stuart Masterson. Yeah. Great. All right. But yeah, he was in like 6 episodes of that show. Did that only last 6 episodes?
probably.
Yeah. Only lasted six
Makes
episodes.
sense now.
Wait, oh wait, no, hold on. Well, he was in 1 through 6. Yep, only 6 episodes. So I guess yeah, he was the young son, I guess, in it. Um, or wait, was he? He was a son in it. Yeah, cool. Um, I need, I love this. So I love looking up 90s shows that I've never heard of, and then later going to YouTube and watching the first episode or something.
Yeah.
If
These
they
like
are.
lost shows no one talks about.
Yeah. I want to
Any.
do a show at some point like that, like forgotten television shows. But
Yeah,
the only difference is it's really hard to do a show about a whole series or something, you know?
yeah, for sure.
Because
That
there's
takes time.
yeah, usually you gotta do like maybe 5 episodes or something, or 6 episodes to just cover everything, you know? But maybe, I don't know. I did one called Classic Horror Television, and I had like the only episode I think we released was the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. It's gonna I might bring that back. I'm telling, we'll see. Yeah, I'm not counting that out. I just haven't, I haven't
Yeah,
really it's too specific and I don't like that. I wish I had just decided to do classic television instead and
you
just
could
drop the
rebrand it.
horror. I might have to because um I don't and I think I'm gonna rebrand it to classic television like that nobody talks about, as
Yeah,
much like that. Like I wanna like Kate Brasher, be you know that's the other thing. I have to get somebody a guest to watch it, and usually we have to watch the whole series or something and
yeah.
everything. And that takes some
That's a
fucking time, you know? Or with Are You Afraid of the Dark, we've seen all the episodes at some point, so we don't need to rewatch the whole thing
yeah.
to whatever. But yeah, I don't want to do that again. I love that idea. I just like one of my friends was asking, "Do you do television for podcasts?" And I was like, "No, you don't touch that just because you have to everybody has to watch so much or something, you know? Even watch a full season these days is hard,
Yeah.
for at least for me,
Fun.
because
It's hard for me too. It takes forever to watch TV shows.
really,
Something I'm really into.
are you into any right now?
Well, I just got MGM Plus so I can finish From. So once I start season 3 of that, I'll probably fly through that.
MGM Plus, there's Apple TV,
Yeah,
so
I don't
much.
have Apple. There's too
There's
much.
there's
I
too
just got it
much.
From, and I wanted to see Blink twice, but I
You
need
know,
to get back into The Boys because I was enjoying that and I kind of fell off it for some reason.
well, you know what's gonna end up happening is it's gonna turn into cable,
Oh, it
like it
pretty much
was. It's gonna be
is.
satellite because they're gonna just start combining all of them, and you're gonna spend $100 a month, because you're already spending that much anyway these days,
Yeah, pretty much.
and stuff, and you're gonna spend that much, and you're going to get every streaming channel, and then you're only gonna pick and choose the ones you want to see, like.
That's why it's best to only subscribe to the ones that you're gonna watch stuff on.
Well, Paramount Plus, I love, absolutely love. HBO Max, and my dad has that, so I end up using his. I was it Paramount Plus. Then there's um, I do have Shutter, and
I have,
there's a couple things I want to watch with Shutter before I end up canceling it. Again because it's just like once again I'm spending $7 on Shutter. I'm spending you know, $13 on this, $20 on that,
oh
it
yeah,
adds up to like 50 to $100 by the end of the
exactly.
month. And I mean, I have the money. It's just, do I need it, So I don't know what I would get rid of though, because other than Shutter, um,
I use Shutter a lot. That's one of my most used. Shutter, Max, and Prime. I mostly use.
Max Prime, Paramount, what's the other one? Uh, Peacock, I kind of
Yeah, I
use.
don't use Peacock much.
I use it. It's funny because I have satellite, so I can record like my NBC shows and stuff like Law and Order and whatnot, and I can watch it. I can just fast forward through the commercials and stuff, right? But if I just lazy and I don't feel like going downstairs and doing that, so I don't have it up in my room, the satellite up in my room, I just will turn on. And my friend gave me the Philo account, and I don't think she does it anymore because it's asking me for money.
Oh,
So I think she didn't pay her bill for the whatever for it right now, which is fine. I don't care. It's expensive shit, you know. I don't have money for it, so you know. That's live television too, or you can put live television in there.
oh
That
yeah.
I like that with like Plex TV does that, and Tubi does it. Does Tubi do it?
I don't know. Pluto does it.
Pluto, Pluto doesn't. Pluto and Plex, and then there's a couple other ones, cause like uh
X something
Paramount,
or
but
I want to say it was like Xmo or X something. I don't know. I can't remember.
Paramount
Oh,
Plus, you can stream whatever is on at that time. So if you didn't have uh you didn't have satellite or whatever, you could use
yeah,
CBS to or Paramount to watch it and everything, which I think is pretty cool, you know.
yeah. Because I'll be doing that one. Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets is my favorite.
Oh, that's on Showtime, right?
Yeah,
I paid for the Paramount Plus Showtime thing, you know.
yeah.
Also got Hulu, which I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know bunch.
wait, Disney Plus? Fuck,
I
like
only
freaking
have Disney Plus because of Taylor Swift. I'm just gonna get rid of it.
you don't want to keep watching the Taylor Swift Eras.
I do,
Yeah.
but keeping it just to watch that. Hopefully, it'll get a Blu-ray 4K release in the future.
My friend
Rather
my friend Jessica, yeah, I think it's Jessica. She got to be hang out with one of her friends who is a Taylor Swift impersonator, and not just
oh, that's
like
cool.
doesn't just look like her, but does like tribute stuff in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So she did like her own Eras tour, thing, for it or whatever. And they had a clip, and I thought of you when I watched it. They had a clip where it was like a reel or whatever to put on Facebook, and it was like where they were using um one of Taylor's songs where she says you look like Taylor Swift,
Oh yeah,
and stuff. So it's like you look like Taylor Swift, uh and I like that or something like that. So it was kind of cute because it was saying,
that's awesome.
she looked like Taylor. She does look like Taylor Swift. I have to send you the stuff so you can check it out.
Yeah, yeah, please.
I know like when I saw it, I was like, Maddie would love this shit. And I forgot to send it to you. I don't know why. I just got busy. It's been a crazy, crazy year. This is the last one of the year.
Yeah,
The
if
last
this year
90's. Yeah, this year went by pretty quickly, didn't it?
went too quick.
And we had like a big long break,
Yeah,
and that's not just like this one. I had a big long break for a lot of them and stuff. So I'm ready to get back into keeping this going for a while, I might make this longer than, you know, 10 episodes for the season just because why not, and stuff.
yeah.
So if you're down, I'm down. I'm very OCD, so I like everything even. That's a very weird trait of mine, but I don't like odd numbers. I never have.
Mhm. I understand that. A lot of people don't.
And you don't probably feel that way or whatever, right?
I usually pick even over odds, but I don't feel that strongly about it, to where.
Well, I was in a place doing I was setting up chairs, color chairs, and I started putting everything in a pattern. And then when this guy that I know came over to help me, I said, "No, back off, because you don't know the
Yeah.
pattern and everything."
So,
And he's like, "Okay, what's the pattern?" So I explained to him the pattern was like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Right? And he looked at me, he goes, "Jonathan, has anybody ever told you you're a weird guy?" I was
oh,
like, no, I was not offended by that because
oh
I was
no.
like, I have my quirks and everybody sort of knows that. Like I tell people all the time, I don't, if it's especially with numbers, if it's got to be even. If it is odd, it drives me crazy, but I won't like. I won't like freak out, I'll just be like,
Yeah.
okay, well that sucked. That it was odd, But yeah, it's insane. And so I just insane in my brain, you know. What else? Did we cover everything with this? I think we did.
I think for the most part.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Bad Moon, uh it does I will do a spoiler real quick. I guess a really big spoiler, other than we had kind of already spoiled it with telling that the uncle was the wolf, but you
You
kind of
know
know
that
it.
from the beginning. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he's
so,
giving vibes, and I thought the twist was gonna be that there was another werewolf, you
oh,
know,
that would have been interesting.
right? Like that he was a red herring the whole time. We thought it was him, but it was somebody else in that like tribe or whatever, you know. Um, but no, it was no, he was the kid. He was the werewolf, um and then there's that great scene at the end with going up the in the house and the dog coming up and running all the way from the pound, comes all the way up and jumps him and knocks him down. The only thing I didn't like was that the dog went down with him. I thought he was just gonna knock him, just push him,
Yeah.
out or whatever. But he goes down with him, and he looks like at one point you thought he was gonna die, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely, like I said, the way it's done with the dog and attacking, and it's so well done.
And especially
And
at the
yeah,
end.
you're really thinking, oh my God, is he going to be okay? And
Yep, and then he attacks he attacks the uncle at the end, kills off the uncle because as human form, because if you kill the human, wasn't it in American Werewolf in London where they killed him in human form or whatever too?
yeah,
But if you kill him in human form, he's dead. He can't become the werewolf again. So there's two ways to kill the werewolf. You kill him in human form, which is probably the better way to do it, you know?
yeah, instead of trying to mess around with a silver bullet, you just want to be sure you know that that person's a werewolf, which in
Right.
this movie is obvious,
Well,
but
he turns right in front of her, so she knows.
exactly.
I thought she was gonna kill
The
him.
dog knows anyway. Thor
I thought
knows anyway.
I thought she was gonna kill him, and I was happy that the dog was the one that did it.
Yeah.
Because the movie was based on a book called Thor, by the way, which is like
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. And Thor in the book there was I read about it, there was a mother, a father, and three children. And Thor was part of the pack, you know. Felt like he was part of the pack, like that was his pack. And it was through his eyes that you saw the movie,
Yeah.
that you saw the book, through the book and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. But it was slightly different take, and probably for money's sake, it's cheaper to have three people and a dog than six people and a dog, or
That
whatever. And so they, you
works
know,
with this small cast, you
yeah,
know.
it seems like this guy likes to make movies with small casts. So I like that.
Yeah.
Me, I can't do it. I can barely write small casts. My smallest casts I do are like 8 people, or whatever. Like I did a short with 3 people, but like it was a short, you know, like
Yeah.
10-minute movie. Aside from that, I don't really do movies with short. I don't like most of my shorts even have at least 8 people, if not more. Um, because I tend to write that way, It's just easier to have like a bunch of people than just a couple people who have to keep talking to each other, like
Yeah,
you know what
for
I mean?
sure.
Um, anyway, yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I had a blast. Um, trying to think of what's gonna be our next one because I'm gonna pick it right now. I know you have a couple ideas of what you want to do next on the next two.
Yeah.
Those are ones that you mentioned to me, and I have one of them. The other one I need to buy. Um, so we'll mention that on the next, you know,
Yep.
on the next episode. But real quick, I'm gonna find one that's on Tubi, because that's what you did, right?
Yep.
And what I like about Tubi is they do have like a section that says 90s horror.
Oh, do they? I think I
Yeah,
missed
if you
that.
look down, yep, there's a whole section 90s horror, like Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 and 5, and People Under the Stairs, which we did that, right?
No.
I know I did it for something.
Yeah, you probably did it for a different one.
Yeah.
We didn't do it here.
You know what? I think I did do it for, what was it, 90s? No, I think that might have been another one of my podcasts. Crap, I don't remember, but I do remember doing it. I did it with my friend Matt. Um, Shoot. We could do an American Werewolf in Paris, but let's try not to do two werewolf movies back to back. I don't. Uh, I'm gonna try to find something maybe I haven't seen because I like doing that. I like finding ones I
Yeah,
haven't seen.
it's fun to pick movies we haven't seen like that. What was that movie? Last Breath.
Was that?
That was a fun.
Oh
That
yeah,
last
yeah,
breath.
yeah. The last
That
gasp.
was fun. Like neither one of us had seen.
The last gasp, I think was what it.
Yes, I knew that wasn't right. It's been a long day.
I was like, wait a minute, that sounded
I knew that
similar.
wasn't right.
That sounded similar, but I was like, oh, it's gasp.
What
It's gasp.
enough.
Wait a minute, what? Ah, nope. No. There's one called I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. I'm like, no, that's not. That's uh. So let's see. There's the Willies. That's a classic. You seen
Yes, it
that,
is.
right?
I have the DVD somewhere.
Um,
Remember running that when I was a kid.
there's Frankenhooker.
That's a
That's a
favorite.
that's a classic. Oh, Campfire Tales is just like the Willies, except maybe like a little bit
Never
more.
seen. I think I started watching it, but I never finished it for whatever reason. But I've never.
Pledge Night was in 1990. Trying to think. Mirror Mirror. They've got Mirror Mirror on here.
That was
That's
one of
one of
my
the ones
picks.
we watched. Yeah. Probably a few of the ones you picked are on here because I think you did a couple of from Tubi.
Yeah,
Um,
I think most of mine have been from Tubi. I try to find lesser known ones.
right. I try to find the more popular ones, but there really isn't that many on here. Like Amityville, It's About Time, Amityville
My favorite
Dollhouse.
movie.
What?
1992 is my favorite Amityville movie.
Nice. Psycho Cop Returns. I
That
did not know
movie's
that was a 90s movie. Warlock 3. I think we'd want to.
soft
I
spot for Warlock 3.
what?
I have a soft spot for Warlock 3.
We talked about that, didn't we? Or something I feel like.
Probably at some point.
Oh man, what am I gonna pick? There's so many here that I don't even know if I've heard of any of these things too. Like The Unborn.
I've I seen The Unborn? I don't know.
There's a movie called The Suckling.
Oh my God, I love The Suckling.
That sounded wrong. Oh
Yeah, definitely did.
yeah, I love The Suckling. The Howling Man has a bunch of movies from the 90s. It was a big one in the
Yeah, those
90s.
sequels,
Yeah.
especially New Moon Rising. Now that's the worst werewolf transformation ever.
We'd have to do that at some point for sure.
Oh yeah, I have it on
That
VHS.
was on here, so there's a movie
Oh
called
wow.
Scary Movie,
Oh,
1991.
I know that movie. Well, I've never seen it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, John Hawkes or whatever. We already did one of the here, let's see. Can't talk about that because it hasn't come out yet. Um, damn. What? What can I do? So Pledge Night and Happy Hell Night are right next to each other. Those are two, I think, Pledge movies, right? Pledge
Yeah.
horror films. Ice
Pledge
Cream
Night has
Man
one
with freaking Clint Howard.
of Ice Cream Man. I guess
Uh,
I'm saying I love these movies because it's like, oh, well, we already know how you feel about it.
I haven't really seen any of these. I know of them. I've never seen them.
Like, you're missing out.
I mean, well, that's what the show's about, right? You're
I
gonna you're
know.
gonna you're gonna be the one introducing me to them, you know,
Yeah.
and everything. So, I mean, uh, it's so weird because like I haven't seen a lot of 90's horror because
Surprised
well,
that you
I
haven't.
got into it in 90's after Scream, like I got back into it.
Yeah.
So, like I'd watch these things, but later, but not as much. Have you seen Wax Mask?
Yeah.
That one. All right, I know what we're doing. And this is supposed to be one of the worst movies too. So buckle up, baby. We're gonna do Shakma.
I've never seen Shockma.
Oh, great, neither have I. But like
There we go. Perfect.
I've heard terrible things.
I
It's
can
on
see the
like
cover of the movie in my head, but I never saw the movie.
yeah, it's like a beast, kind of like a monkey thing or something.
Yeah, I think so.
And
Doesn't
but it was on like Red Letter Media's done it and everything. And I mean I'm sure I could do it for Indie Film Cafe, but you know,
sounds
Red
good.
Letter Media has done it, and so I always feel
Yeah.
like and Paul will probably be like, that was on my list. And I'll be like, that's fine. We
Too
can
bad.
still do it for Indie Film Cafe. We can
You
do
can
it for
have him
both.
as a guest if he wants to be a part of it.
And he won't like the 10 o'clock thing, but he'll probably come on at some point. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, we haven't had him as a guest and you know, because when you know what? I think I did do that. I did do People Under the Stairs for 90's horror before you became my co-host
Probably.
because you weren't my co-host from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You became my co-host, I think, in like close to the second season. So I think
Yeah.
in the first season I did People Under the Stairs and a couple other ones. And one of the ones I did was Man's Best Friend, which we are gonna cover at some point.
Oh,
But with Paul, I did that with Paul. Paul had never seen it, and I love that movie to death. That's one I
that's a
have
great.
seen.
Been a long time since I've seen it too.
Right. And he didn't he thought it was okay. He thought it was, you know, whatever, but he didn't think it was that great. I thought it was kind of mediocre, I guess. But I loved it. I still do. And it's something I think it's a little bit of nostalgia for me because even though I
Yeah.
think there are points that I'm like, could have been better, you know? I don't know. All right, everybody. I hope you all right, Shakma is next in January, so get ready for that. So bring on the
Can't
new
wait.
year with the monkey? A deadly monkey movie? I don't know.
Deadly Monkey movie. I love
Was it,
killer animal movies, so I'm
yeah,
done.
there you go. And you like killer and you know, what if they did a killer animal movie mixed with a dentist movie? Like
Now that would
a
be.
med
I don't know how what the plot would be, but I would watch the hell out of it.
like a dentist werewolf. Well, there's a dentist vampire movie
Yeah,
that you want to see at some point you haven't
I
watched
do.
or you haven't
Yes,
bought it yet or whatever. But
but our dentist werewolf sounds good as well.
I can see you making that, you know, to be
Honestly, yeah.
yeah. You get a whole like you get like a room that you could shoot a uh dentist stuff in or whatever and then you have like the dentist you know becomes a werewolf at night, you know, and all this stuff and you know, you can do stuff with teeth, you know, the idea that the werewolf
Exactly.
has like bad teeth maybe.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I don't know. Oh man. Um would it be bad if you had a dentist that was on meth?
Probably.
Because their teeth would be all messed up, and then would you trust somebody who had bad teeth as your dentist?
No. Who would?
I mean, I'd be a little worried. I'd be like, dude, you
Especially
don't
if they're
even
a
take care of
werewolf.
your own teeth. Why would
Yeah.
I?
I'm not gonna take care of mine, jeez. And you're on
Jesus.
meth, apparently, so no thanks.
Oh Lord, everybody, this is a fun show. We kind of went way off topic a few
Really.
times, but we did talk about the movie a bunch. So, I mean, it's not a movie that I don't think it's a movie you could have just done a lot to talk about, you know. It's kind of your standard, you know, werewolf movie, but it was
Yeah,
fun. It was good.
definitely. Check it out on
I
Tubi.
definitely recommend Bad Moon, so check it out. I keep wanting to call it Bad Wolf. Um, but I'm glad I didn't tell you that because I didn't want you to keep messing that up. You know,
I probably would. Bad
I,
Moon.
right? Because that's it kept messing me up in the beginning, and then eventually I kept saying Bad Moon enough where it's fine. So I just think of that song, Bad Moon Rising.
Yeah, exactly.
So
CCR.
yep. So and they didn't play it in the movie. I don't remember it being played. I don't think they did. Maybe they didn't have the money for the rights. That $7 million didn't
Probably.
go to the music. That would have been so cool though. That went kind of perfect for this movie. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Check next year. Oh, we'll be back. I'm
Check.
not sure if like yeah, with Shakma. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a different time and day. I mean not time, but day. You know that is gonna it's gonna come out and know if it's gonna continue coming out in Friday or if it's gonna come out on like a Wednesday or Tuesday, you know, or not Tuesday. If Tuesday I'm busy, but maybe Wednesday or yeah, Thursday. Friday, one of those days. So we'll see. It'll be fun because I'll play with it, see where I want to put everything, you know. But I do like these coming out on Friday. I think Friday is a good day on it, and it's gonna be out tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing all the stuff tonight and getting it ready for tomorrow. So get ready, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we will be back with a brand new episode next year. Till then, everybody, have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.